Hey there fellow art lovers and fans of all things painted. Welcome back to my regular viewers, and if you're new here, welcome. I'm Cal and it's great to have you here. It's the 4th day of Spooky Month and today we're going to paint something a little more comical. We'll start off by sketching in the pumpkin in the foreground and the track it's rolling down. Then we'll sketch in the two other competitors, both zombie heads. They don't look too thrilled, do they? Then it's time to sketch in the bodies of the three competitors, one headless horseman and two zombies who are competing, shall we say, head to head, in a race. I think there's a pretty clear winner here, eh? I looked for bowling poses to give one of the zombies and the headless horseman, while the third competitor looks on as best as a headless person can look on, in utter dismay. Now it's time for colour. I started with the pumpkin, which I gave the most vibrant colours to, partly because it's the main focus and partly because it's in the foreground. This was a looser, more cartoonish piece, so I didn't get quite as bogged down in detail as usual. I got part way through painting the finish line when I suddenly thought, nah, I can't be bothered fiddling with all this. Scrapped it and used the square tool to create the repeating checkerboard pattern before warping it into place with the warp tool. I gave the zombies different attire that looks like it comes from different time periods to vary things up a bit. One's smart casual, the other's a little more cowboy. Then the headless horseman. Thought I'd have him looking pretty dapper in a smart looking suit with flapping coattails and a pair of boots. Then I added in the sky in an eerie green hue and began shading, once more starting with the pumpkin. I had the lighting come from behind and, of course, the pumpkin's own light would affect things later on. It was around here I started trying to add some effects to make the pumpkin look like it was moving fast, but it wasn't really coming out right, so I left it for a little later, moving on to the other heads and the bodies. Then I added the shadows to each object and character and added a bit more detail to the track. A second attempt at adding speed blur, and then I moved on to adding in some background details and some speed lines. What is this, an anime? Then some tweaks to the shading and adding the light from the pumpkin I mentioned earlier, casting its orange glow on the ground. Another attempt at adding speed. This really was vexing, but I think this attempt looked better. And adding some shading to the finish line as it looked far too flat and stark compared to the rest. Some final details, the last few speed tweaks, which I think worked this time, and we're done. Getting the motion of the characters took a few tries, but I think it was worth it in the end. Let me know what you think. If you enjoyed what you just watched, please be sure to leave the video a like and subscribe and ring the bell to see more content. If you want to support my art, you can find a link to my Ko-fi in the description. And if you want to get straight into some more art, you can go and watch this video for my latest content. Or this one for something random.